Hi, this is Melanie for the Pardesi channel. I'm here to do a video review of the latest Malayalam film, Aadhi. Aadhi stars Pranav Mohanlal in his feature film debut. Evidently, he had been a child artist long time ago in the past in one of his father's films, I presume. But this is his launch. Well, one of the lines that really struck me, one of the villains says about his character, Aadhi's character, is he's got skills. And that's what I would say about my impression of him in this film. So it's definitely notably a first-time outing, as an actor. It's not so polished, it's not so smooth. It reminded me completely different kind of film. But I went back and saw Dulquer Sam and Mammootty's son's film ABCD, American Born Confused Desi, where he's not so great in that, and you can see how far he's come. So, this is a first effort, but I can see Jeethu Joseph is the director and writer, who of course directed Pranav's father Mohanlal in Drishyam, one of his most successful movies. Jeethu Joseph, I have not seen Memories, which everyone keeps telling me I need to see, but I did see Uzam, which also was kind of a thriller with a complicated caper kind of a plot to it. So that seems to be his wheelhouse, Jeethu Joseph's, and he's good at it. I mean, they are really entertaining. The beginning setup of this film shows Aadhi. He wants to be a music director. We see him singing some songs. Evidently, Pranav himself wrote and sung himself one of the songs. We're introduced to his family life, his devoted mother, who he has a wonderful relationship, played by Lena, who I've seen I don't know how many other films. And then Siddiqui plays his father, who is like, are you ever going to get a real job? You think you can really get a job in this music business? And there's a really funny line at the beginning where the character of Aadhi says something like, breaking into, because he wants to do music for movies, and he says breaking into this business is not just about talent, it involves luck. How he could keep a straight face with all getting this launch as a star's son, I don't know, but it was a pretty funny line to include in there. And of course, there's the cameo we were all waiting for from Mohanlal, and it's pretty funny to see his son playing a character that's coming up to bother him in a restaurant. But anyway, what skills does he have? He doesn't show the greatest acting chops, or even a can't help but look at him kind of charisma that his father has. But what he does have is mad skills for action. And evidently he knew gymnastics, but he has just a very different body type from his father. He's just kind of long and lean and very, he does all of this parkour, with the kind of, you've seen it in films like Casino Royale and whatever. There's a lot of big Hollywood movies that have done it too. It's a lot of that jumping off of buildings and jumping through windows, leaping through gracefully, and walking on the sides of walls, and all sorts of crazy things. There's a lot of parkour in this film, and all of those scenes are amazing and super awesome. In the closing credits, you see sort of some of the making of scenes of Pranav with wires on, and I mean, you could tell in the film he's doing most of the stunts himself, and so I have to hand it to him for that. He really elevated those scenes to another level, because I mean, we've seen both just in the Hindi industry, I've seen this parkour is such a popular thing to put in action movies. I've seen Shah Rukh Khan try to do it, and I've seen Salman Khan, and there's so many where you're like, yep, there was the cut where the stunt double did it. Yep, there was the cut. No, you don't see that in this film. There's no cheating with little editing cuts, because he's doing it. Pranav is doing it all himself, and it looks amazing because he is really there in the moment. He also is really good in the close fighting scenes. Those are the mad skills that he has. And then at the end, when there's this whole, it's almost like a Mission Impossible kind of a caper, you know, he's really good in those scenes too. So I think the action genre is going to be really good for him. I don't, you know, it's really hard. It must be really hard to launch yourself with such high expectations from everyone in Kerala as to what kind of an actor and what kind of a presence you're going to have in a film because of who your father is. You know, I mean, he can't get a launch like just a nobody. He can't just start slowly and play the best friend in somebody else's movie. The only way for him to start is big, like this. And that's a lot of pressure. I wish he had a chance to have built up slowly. I think he'll get there. There was no romantic storyline at all. So I can't even speak to how he would do in any kind of a romantic comedy kind of scene, or even a love scene or anything. I mean, basically, he's sort of like Keanu Reeves, you know, who is awesome at acting in action films, maybe not so great in some other things. So we have to see over the course of time what other skills, what other talents Pranav may bring. You know, mostly he had to look like this innocent person who got caught up in something out of his control. Quite a bit of the action takes place in Bangalore, and that is perfect for bringing in a great villain from the Telugu industry, and that's Jagapati Babu. I've seen him play sympathetic father roles, but he excels in this sort of menacing, powerful villain. I mean, when you have an action movie, you got to have a good villain, and he's an awesome villain. And then, of course, there's other complicating, I'm not going to get into any spoilers about it. So the beginning of the film is a little slow in the setup, and we never really circle back to any of that stuff about his music career or anything by the end of the film. I think Jeethu Joseph had the idea of this cool thriller where you've got an innocent guy on the run, and there was just kind of a lot of setup at the beginning to prove that he really has this close-knit family, and let Pranav sing some songs, and okay, you know what I mean? It was just set up for the thriller, and it almost feels like the film really begins when the action takes off. The action, I thought, was great. So it's an overall, is it the level of Drishyam? No way, because it doesn't have Mohanlal, but the action is really, really good. So it's worth seeing it for that. Jagapati, he is awesome. And Lena and Siddiqui, Anusri, I want to give a shout out. She is such a spitfire. She plays the sister of someone that helps out Aadhi when he's having to hide out from the baddies. And she was really good, but there's absolutely no romantic chemistry. I don't think there's meant to be. I think she's supposed to be sort of, there's a line at the end about her being his sister, you know, in a sense. So there's not even so if you're expecting there to be an action film which normally every action film that I've seen has some sort of romantic storyline, even if it's brief. There's none here. Absolutely zero. But that's okay. It was a fun action film. It's an average film, but it's very entertaining, and the action sequences are worth the price of your movie ticket. If you've seen this film, I'd love to know what you thought about it in the comments. Do you think Mohanlal's son Pranav lived up to all the heightened expectations? I mean, I'm glad for him. It looks like this is a successful film for his debut. That's awesome. But then the question is, what are you going to do next, right? How are you going to keep this momentum going and show that you have more of a range than just this one kind of film? So we'll see how his career goes. It will be interesting to follow it. If you like this video review, please press that like button and share the video. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at PardesiYT. Subscribe here to Pardesi and hit that bell, then you'll get a notification whenever I have a new film review or trailer reaction.